comes the brand new flavor in your ear. Time for new flavor in your ear. I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Max, brand new flavor in your ear.
Live from the booth here in Cortland, New York, broadcasting live through the Central New York area, brings you another episode on the 90.5 FM airwaves of Mike and Leel Keeping It Real here on this sports radio event. Two hosts, two personalities, one radio show. Mike and Leel, we give our unique takes on the latest news in sports and pop culture. Brought to you by brand new flavor of radio, Real Leel Sports, and The Dragon. The request line is 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. One more time, 607-753-4819. You can call up throughout this show. You know, we want to know how y'all keep it real. That's what we're going to do for the next 2 hours. Call up and get your voices heard on the airwaves and keep it real. Subscribe to my channel, Real Leel Sports, and we're going to get right into it. Excuse my voice because I'm one sick man, but guess what? I'm here for y'all, and we're going to get this show on the road, and we're going to start it off. Right, Mike?
Oh, definitely. We got so much to get into. What do you want to start with?
I want to start with, bringing out the clips from last season, right? Because, oh yeah, we're going to bring out the clips. Bear with me, y'all. We're going to bring out the clips.
I know where you're going with this.
Yup. I remember it was the season 2 finale.
You got to cut me some slack.
I'll cut you a little bit.
I'll explain myself.
You got a lot of explaining to do, brother. But we're going to flip this off. We're going to talk about it like this. Blake Bortles has received the bench, even though it reports saying that he's possibly going to start again, and they're going to stick with him. But I'm going to bring out the clips from season finale talking about Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars for y'all, in case y'all, wasn't paying attention.
We're waiting, Lil.
Well, technical difficulties at the moment.
I want to know what I said about Blake Bortles, because I know what I said about Blake Bortles about last season. I know what I said. And, before you even...
We had a big debate.
Man, that team was a Super Bowl team last year.
That team.
The Jacksonville Jaguars was a Super Bowl team last year. They
we got it.
By penalties.
We got it right now.
They get it.
Blake Bortles in that game in the wild card against the Buffalo Bills when the Jags scored 10 points and the Bills scored 3 against the Bills. All right, the Bills. I'm gonna reiterate myself against the Buffalo Bills here. We're not talking about no other team with a high flying defense. We're talking about Buffalo, okay? Buffalo. Listen, Blake Bortles in that game in the wild card against the Buffalo Bills when the Jags scored 10 points and the Bills scored 3 against the Bills. All right, the Bills. I'm gonna reiterate. High flying defense. We're talking about Buffalo, okay? Buffalo. A team that just made the playoffs, barely, all right? They needed Cincinnati's help to make the playoffs. Blake Bortles threw for 87 yards. I could throw for 87 yards in my sleep, blindfolded.
Hey, all I gotta say is a win is a win. And in the playoffs, winning every week's a new week. And if they go into Pittsburgh and win that game, so you don't even care about what happened in Buffalo. You won it, that's all that matters. Does it matter if you win 10-3, or does it matter when you win 24-0? Your quarterback throws 500 yards.
Your running back had as much yards as you as a quarterback? Are you kidding me?
Well, Mike, let's hear you explain.
Well, I remember what I was saying was that Blake Bortles was the quarterback that he deserved to be the quarterback in that team going into the season, without a doubt. They had to have all hope in him. Whatever, he won 2 playoff games, regardless what the score was, regardless how they played, regardless of how good that defense is. And I remember you were saying that Leonard Fournette was all this and everything, and come on, man, we all know that, dude. You trying to say he was top 5 running back. Come on.
At the time.
What did you want? No.
At the time.
Blake Bortles was the quarterback of that team, and they came within a bad pass interference call from beating New England Patriots in that game. So they should have been in the Super Bowl last year, and Blake Bortles would have been the quarterback.
If Leonard Fournette wasn't so injury prone, I think he would have been up there. At the time, I was so impressed on what he was doing on that offense to make Blake Bortles look half what of a decent quarterback, to set him up to have those successful games against the Steelers and the Patriots is why I thought he was the MVP of that team, and that's why I was so high on him, because Blake Bortles, my God.
And I'm supposed to know, going into the season, going into Week 8, he's having a career worst season, a terrible year where they're thinking of benching him now. They're thinking about Cody Kessler. Cody Kessler, are you kidding me?
Cody!
You pick up the phone, you call Mr. Kaepernick. You pick up the phone, you call Mr. New Orleans Saints, and you try to get Teddy Bridgewater. You try to get a quarterback in there. Maybe Eli Manning sweepstakes. I don't know if the Giants are going that way. Derek Carr, I mean, there's names out there. We got the deadline approaching on the 30th. I don't know what the Jaguars are going to do, but there's options.
We're going to get into a lot of Kaepernick on this show for a fact. But just to let you know, Mike, yo, we sound really good on the airwaves. I got the headphones in, and I'm listening to I'm like, we sound really good. Somebody need to sign me. Call me up, 607-753-4819. Y'all got to call me up. Y'all got to sign me and Mike to a deal. All right, a multi-million-dollar deal, because we got the multi-million-dollar voice. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. But we're going to bring our guest on, Jake. You know, he's always a part of the show with us. And, you know, it's been a couple weeks, but he's back in the booth. Jake, how's it going? And what's your thoughts on this situation regarding the Jaguars and the dysfunction on that football team right now?
Hey, thanks for having me on, Joel. It's fun. We're talking about the Jaguars still?
Talking about Blake Bortles and the Jaguars.
I mean, Blake Bortles stinks. Like, I'll say that. I'll say that right now. I was never a fan of him. They went on a nice run last year. But let me defend Mike for a second here. You guys, you know what the leading receivers for the Jags are this week? Okay, Dante Moncrief, 7 receptions for 76 yards. He stinks. The Colts got rid of him, and they got no weapons.
Somebody take out the trash.
The Colts ain't.
Second leading receiver, T.J. Yeldon. It was a running back. Keenan Cole, D.D. Westbrook.
Go!
The Jaguars were good last year because their defense was one of the best in the league. They had a great running game, and I think the play caller was good. But the offense, their offense was so talented that they were able to build around Blake Bortles. Now you lose Allen Robinson, who went to the Bears. The Cowboys. You lose Marquise Lee, who's out for an injury. This offense is not the same that it was last year. They lost Leonard Fournette, who, I mean, they invested a lot of draft capital into him, a high first-round pick, and you don't have that. And now you have T.J. Yeldon, and I think Blake Bortles was their leading rusher this weekend. So as bad as I think Blake Bortles is, that team is not what it should be. They lost all their weapons from last year, and Blake Bortles isn't good enough to carry the rest of the team.
Blake Bortles is garbage. You heard the man. You heard Jake. He stinks. He needs to be put out. He's garbage, all right? This guy, I don't know, people got carried away because he had big games against the Patriots. Wow. The Steelers. Wow. All right, I understand. You playing, we sticking with you. I mean, the team is sticking with you, so obviously at some point you got to do a little something. He did a little something, and everybody made it seem like he was the next coming of Jesus, all right? It don't work like that, all right? There's a movie that I watched called The Wrath of Cain, and it's about, this guy in jail with his sons, and guess what he said? When the guy tried to come up in the prison and try to, take over, he's like, listen, it don't work like that. And I'm telling y'all, the Central New York people, the people listening on the 90.5 FM airwaves on WSUC, it don't work like that, all right? Jamaican, it don't work like that.
Well, I mean, with the Jaguars, they're going through a real tough time right now. I mean, this could be one of the lowest of lows. I mean, they're still sitting at 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's running away with the division
in the AFC South. I mean, it's always wide open. It's just the fact that teams have figured out their defense. I mean, it's eventually going to crack. You're in the NFL, teams are going to figure it out. They got to be smarter than that. They're so talented on that side of the ball that they're going to have to all come together and start playing together and getting it done. Because they got to figure out what's going on. And, I mean, they have doubts about Leonard Fournette because they're bringing Carlos Hyde when they traded for him last week. So they bring that in, him and T.J. Yeldon, so who knows what's going on with Fournette. As you mentioned, no receivers to even help Bortles, and you don't even have a good quarterback. So, I mean, there's going to be answers. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they still stick with Blake Bortles, which they are this week. I don't know what's going to happen by the 30th.
I think you have to because Cody Kessler, I mean, he hasn't shown anything.
Yeah, come on.
And, I'll say it again, Blake Bortles stinks. He's not he's a starting quarterback. He can start. But he's not the type of guy that's going to lead you to the Super Bowl unless you have the pieces around him like they did last year. And Blake Bortles, he's the type of quarterback, just like Case Keenum, we saw in the Vikings last year. You saw it with Sanchez back on the Jets. If you have the pieces around him, he can win you some games.
Hey,
But
dude.
and the Jaguars
Case Keenum.
Exactly,
is
but when-
missing Leonard Fournette.
Exactly,
That's a
yeah.
big key, and that's why I was so high on him.
But hey, Cardinals has the same type of running back.
Yeah,
They bring him right
yeah,
back in.
yeah. So
But
call
you-
up the request. Well, you guys want to say
No, I was
that?
just gonna say you lose that many weapons. I mean, a guy like Blake Bortles, he's not gonna be able to have the same type of production with lesser. He's not Drew Brees. He's not a Tom Brady where he elevates his receivers. He needs the receivers to elevate him. So it's gonna be a long year for the Jaguars. They don't have enough weapons.
And it's not like there's anything on the market. The only thing on the market is Colin Kaepernick, and the best quarterback that's just picked up is Derek Anderson
Yeah, right.
for Buffalo. Like, come on.
I mean, I could have
Come
seen
on.
seen them making a trade for Amari Cooper, but I don't think
Yeah.
they want to give up a first round pick
Exactly.
like the Cowboys did.
I don't even think he's worth the first round.
No, he's not. No way.
Well, like I said, we're gonna talk about a lot of Kaepernick in this show, but it's time to get this show on the road. Call up the request line at 607-753-4819. You right, Mike, but that was the intro, and right now the real show starts right now. WSUC, Mike and Leel keeping it real all day.
Mike and Leel, hey, keep it real. Hey, I feel like I see myself. We should be in the top 5.
So you listen to Mike and Leel keeping it real. You hear the real statements, and then you just throw on ESPN, come on, what better you want?
Hey kids, get tucked in the bed. Well, y'all ready for your bedtime story? Well, there was this radio host named Mike and Lil, and he had the greatest show. First of all, this is it. What are you, Michael Jackson? I don't understand what in the world is going on. I mean, I know it's the Bills. I know they were bad, but damn, you can't stick to the end of that game and decide if you want to retire or not. You got it's that bad that you got to leave at halftime or in the third quarter or the fourth. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know, but damn, I know. At a halftime, just hacking it up and just saying, I'm done. You gotta show up. These cats did not show up. I don't know what in the world J.L. Smith did in that fight. All right, when it came to that play, I don't know if he was at the Henny store or he was. I don't know what it was. Better yet, they even got to interview the president of Portland. And Lil had the chance to meet Kenny the Jet Smith and Charles Parker. Kids, you know what's crazy? Mike and Lil even had callers from kids that called their show. Yes. Never mind. It looks like y'all kids fell asleep after all. Well, to be continued.
A lot of the stuff me and Mike say on this show always seems to come to pass. Alright? That's why we are one of the realest sports shows out here. Alright?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are one of the realest sports shows out here. Y'all know what we do. We keep it real, so we going to continue to keep it real. The Patriots, right? The Patriots, the Pats, the P-A-T-S, the Pats, all right, are 5-2 with a nail-biting win against the Chicago Bears, who are now 3-3, and they won this game 38-31. As the Bears fall short on a Hail Mary. Come with me. Hail Mary.
Were you nervous?
Come quick, see. Was I nervous? I don't get nervous, Mike.
Hey,
you
man,
should know that by now.
Going into this game, this is my upset of the week. I had Chicago beat New England. I liked the matchup. It was in Chicago. It was a cold game. The only question was Khalil Mack, because he was a little injured. He was questionable to play. Obviously, he played. And, I mean, great game. Chicago is better than everybody thinks. They're a really talented football team. And you're starting to see Trubisky starting to get it together. It took a while.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of talent on that team.
They have a lot of talent on that team, and
Very
Trubisky,
underrated, Tyreek Cohen. Very good.
he showed off his legs in that game big time.
Better than Howard.
I mean, he showed off his legs big time in that game. He made a couple passes. You know, he was a little bit iffy, but he utilized his legs, and it kind of set him up in the passing game. But you asked me if I was nervous. I'm never nervous at anything I do. I'm just never nervous. Nervousness is for suckers. I'm not nervous. But the Patriots, however, I was a little bit concerned. I'll put it like that. At one point in the game, because the Bears, like, that defense is crazy. That defense is suffocating. That defense is legit. That defense is a top 5 defense in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And Khalil Mack is an MVP caliber player. If it wasn't for Pat Mahomes having such a great year that he's having, he'd probably be in the lead for MVP in my prediction. But the Patriots, man, Josh Gordon, I'm loving it. Like that McDonald's theme. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Nothing to get him.
They literally gave up nothing to get Josh Gordon, and Josh Gordon is
a first for Cooper.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And Josh Gordon is coming down. He's getting settled in. You saw it. We had to implement him in the offense. He's starting to. He don't know the offense fully, but you can see his ability to make plays, win those one-on-one battles, and this guy's a beast. And so far, like I said, if he continues to play hard and not get into trouble off the court, he will be legitimately a top 5 receiver in the NFL again. And another thing here is, I'm happy.
Tough, very tough.
Yeah, with a lot of
bold statement.
It's a bold statement. I'm not saying he will, but the production is there. He can do it. He's productive.
Definitely.
And he's
jacked out of his mind.
He's jacked out of his mind. And I'm happy to see that Sony Michel, his injury is not as big because he's coming along really good. I like this cat in Sony Michel.
I've been very worried.
I was over here in this booth,
hopefully he's not
broadcasting the draft last year. I was in this booth, the same booth, broadcasting the draft. And when we got Sony Michel, because yes, I am a Patriot fan, but that's why I'm speaking it from this perspective, from this vantage point. When we got Sony Michel, I almost fell out my chair. Literally, because I just knew that his game would translate in the NFL. I didn't know he would be a 3-down back, but obviously they made him into a 3-down back. They gave him a lot of the workload. So even though his injury is not significant, I still expect Bill Belichick to get another running back in there so that he can take the load off of him and help him and James White.
Yeah, I don't know how much time he's going to miss, though. I don't see him playing this week.
Neither.
I don't know. They said he avoided ligament damage, so, the injury doesn't look too serious. But they do got James White. James White is more of a receiving back, though.
Yeah, he is.
You can't really run it with him. Obviously you can, but he's just not that type of back.
He's not a 3-down back.
You can't overuse
exactly.
him. They got Kenyon Bonner. Is that the guy from Oregon?
Yeah, that's the guy from Oregon.
With Anthony Thomas back in the day, right?
Yup, back in the day. Yup. Shout out to the O. Even though they lost, they got an L, but they not the O. They not the O anymore, y'all. They got the L. I guess you could throw the O after the L, because that means lost. The New England Patriots got the Buffalo Bills.
That Monday night, right?
Buffalo Soldier.
Monday Night Football has been a little bit of a problem for me lately.
They get the worst games.
They do get the worst games, and
it used to be Thursday night. Now it seems like Monday night took the title for the worst game.
Thursday hasn't been that much better either, to be honest. Last week's was horrible. Denver and Arizona, and we don't get that much of an intriguing one with Miami and Houston this week. I don't know. It's just that Monday Night Football used to be like the biggest thing, and it's just I was listening to the fan today. They were talking about it, how it was taken away, like the big game feel, and it's kind of true because I feel like Sunday night gets the best matchup, even though it's the Chiefs.
Yeah, that too.
But I just believe the addition of Thursday Night Football is what affects the Monday Night Football.
Hold on.
Put under the same caliber.
I don't mean to interrupt y'all. I'm going to just throw something out there. You know me, I'll throw a conspiracy or two out here. Not that I actually believe it, but here's the conspiracy. Wait, time out. First of all, do they make these... I know they make the schedule prior to the season.
Yeah, there's like a schedule release.
How did they know Pat Mahomes was going to be so good to have the Chiefs playing really a lot?
I mean, it's a gamble. It's like
the Chiefs are good.
Yeah, the Chiefs were good last year, but how did they know Pat Mahomes would be this good to the point where
he's on Sunday Night Football,
on Sunday night and Monday night all the time?
I mean, when they're scheduling these late night primetime games, it's all about speculation. They have Giants Falcons was last night. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people expected the Falcons to be a Super Bowl contender, and so did ESPN. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. They're 3-4. They're starting to look better.
That's a good matchup.
I mean, I thought the Giants were going to be a lot better this year. I thought they'd be maybe not a playoff team, but I think they'd be hovering around 500. So I mean, a lot of these networks, they just make their scheduling and say, hey, Giants.
And they also have a rule that every team needs at least one primetime game.
I think so. Yeah.
And Thanksgiving doesn't count as Thursday Night Football, nor does Week 1 the kickoff game.
Right. And so next week is Patriots at Bills. Week after is Titans at Cowboys. I mean, some of these games, they're not going to be that good. I mean, it's kind of a gamble either way. You never know what teams are going to be good before the season starts, but
yeah,
I mean,
Sunday night this week,
Sunday night primetime.
you couldn't go wrong with that matchup with the Saints and Vikings.
Oh yeah,
The repeated divisional playoff game.
A lot of good games this week. Packers at Rams. I mean, Rams are a heavy favorite, but Aaron Rodgers. I mean, anything can happen with him.
Definitely. Hey, yo, I do like these headphones.
Yeah, these
That's a good
headphones.
addition.
Yup, this is definitely a good addition. That's why I feel like so energized right now.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Can you hear me?
We needed this.
Thanks.
We needed this.
You know, it's always good to see, you know, changes being made in life. To upgrade. You always gotta upgrade, you know?
Upgrade on my cell phone.
Yeah. Oh, yo. That's the same thing that happened to me. My cell phone was acting up on the way here, y'all. And I was just like, man, I don't even know if I could go live on
I don't
YouTube.
even know what I got. A 7 plus? I don't know, man.
Listen, my phone is tripping.
Slower and slower
It
by
gets-
the day.
Exactly. It's
That's
like,
what they do when they release new phones. They slow
want
down
you
the
to
older
get the
ones.
update.
Yeah,
Yep.
they update the iOS and the apps don't load as much, so they want you to buy a new one.
come on, man.
Come on, Apple. Be better than that.
Come on, Apple, man.
They
Come
want you
on.
to get the new one.
They do.
They do, man. Shout out to the Apple products anyway, man. Always taking checks out of people, you know, taking money out of people's paychecks, man. Word. But anyway, back to the game. You know, overall, I like where the Patriots is going. The last 3 or 4 games, they have scored 38 points and above. To me, the Patriots are literally in good position to come out the AFC because their offense is even more dynamic than it ever was since 07. In my opinion, with the addition of Josh Gordon, you still got Gronkowski, who didn't even play in this game. And then, you know, they scored 38 points. He's going to come back very soon. You know, he was almost played, but he didn't play. And, you know, I expect to see him next week against Buffalo. And we still got Julian Edelman, Jules, and we still got Sony Michel. Hopefully, we come back sooner than later. And our offense, Chris Hogan. We got a lot of pieces, and we still got Tom Brady, the GOAT, and Bill Belichick, the GOAT. So, defense, I'm a little worried. But hopefully, if we could be a bend but don't break defense, I like the Patriots' chances. The Chicago Bears, those 3 losses on their record were close losses that they should have won. And it gotta suck, you know, it gotta suck. But they still have the season in front of them.
Week 1 game definitely should have been a win.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even worry about the Patriots defense because you see all these teams in the NFL that are, you know, having the best seasons. It's all offense. It's the Rams, the Saints,
That's how the
the
league
Chiefs.
turned
That's how the, you know, it's becoming flag football essentially, where you got these
Rams
teams.
do have good defense.
Yeah, I mean, but all these teams are putting up 38, 45 points a week. So the Patriots just need to outscore anyone, which they can do. We saw that against the Chiefs last week. On any given Sunday, they could score more points than any team. So, I mean, I don't think you can worry about the Patriots. They're going to keep Gronk out maybe next week against the Bills. They really don't need him. You might as well rest him throughout the season.
Yep.
Make sure he's ready for the playoffs.
Yep.
And, you know,
That's
Sony
when the
Michel.
That's when the real Patriot season.
Exactly. And
It's
Sony
only
Michel.
a matter of time.
Sony Michel, he's not out for the year, which is, you know, great news for them.
He's
But,
having a great year.
I mean, they don't even need to rush him back. Like,
He could possibly be a favorite for Rookie of the Year in the offense.
I mean, it's possible. If he gets back healthy and he puts up big numbers, like,
Definitely.
you never know.
He's having a brilliant season. It's just a matter of time, as I was saying with New England, before they start getting carried away with the division. I mean, Miami 4-3 right under them. It's just a matter of time before these teams start losing games and they start getting a huge lead. I mean, the Jets, I feel like, are going to be a team that could be about maybe 7-9. They play hard every game. You know, they're in every game. Not a bad team at all. We just know what the Jets are right now. They're that rebuilding team.
They're a limited team. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're
Very
ceiling. I mean, there's games where, like against Denver and against the Colts where, I mean, the teams are pretty even. You could say the Jets are better. You could say the Broncos are better. Whatever. But those are the games that the Jets can, you know, pull away and have, you know, these crazy offensive outbursts like they did against the Lions. But then against a team like Minnesota, who's just better top to bottom with the roster, the Jets just can't compete. And they're in that game until the 4th quarter. Their defense kept them in it. But, you know, you got a rookie 21-year-old quarterback in Sam Darnold who's playing in the cold and the snow for the first time. And you got to expect some, you know, struggles this year.
100%. And, you know, they're not heavily unfavored in this game against the Bears on Sunday. I kind of do like them. I'm not picking them to win the game, but I do like them into this game. It's not going to be like an easy win for Chicago. But the Jets are kind of hurt right now.
Oh, they're so banged
missing
up,
Adunwa and Powell.
Yeah.
People
Marcus May, the
Powell,
safety,
Powell.
too.
Exactly.
Tremaine Johnson, the cornerback. I mean, it's going to be tough. Like, at Chicago, I think that's tough. They're playing at Miami the week after.
But they're winnable games.
Yeah, they're winnable games.
Very winnable
and despite the injuries, their defense has been playing well. I mean, they gave up a lot of points towards the end of the game. Once, you know, the defense was gassed because the offense couldn't really move the ball. But, I mean, if Sam Darnold gets, you know, it's going to be tough for him on the road, especially in cold weather.
And Adunwa is his favorite target.
Yep.
And Powell is a big part of the Jets. Like, He's very underrated part of the Jets.
Great pass
he's
catcher,
huge.
too.
He's
He's
huge.
blocked.
He's just such a security blanket. He's a huge part of this team and this offense. And him missing hurts the team a lot. Hurts the offense a ton.
Yeah, I mean, I was so pumped up after the Jets won those 2 games against Denver and Indianapolis. But
Denver
I mean, you have to check yourself because this is a young team. This is really the second year of a rebuild where they're saying, okay, you know, we got the franchise quarterback this year. That's great. But it doesn't mean that's the year to compete, you know? I mean, next year they have all this cap space, they'll have draft picks. I mean, that's the year you go all in, like the Bears did this year, like the Chiefs did.
They have a chance to get about 6 to 7 premium players this offseason.
Yep.
Added to that roster.
Hey, I hope they go after Le'Veon Bell, you know? Why not? You got all that money.
They should. And I thought that was something they was going to look into, but... You know, we definitely have to talk about the Jets a little bit now that we have Jake on the show.
But you know, Jake, like how we were talking about it.
Yeah.
No, but like how we were talking about it with the fact of Le'Veon Bell last year. I remember when we were on the show, we were talking about, do you really want to spend all this money into a running back? You really need running back.
I remember we had that discussion.
I mean, the Jets do have the unlimited cap where they can actually make that move and bring in Lev Bell. What a spark to the offense. Because you got a young quarterback. You got young receiver corps. Maybe you need to bring in a good tier number 1. But is it really worth bringing him in when you can upgrade many more positions?
And that's what
or is it different in the stance of Pittsburgh because they got a young quarterback that's cheap right now?
I'm going to say it's different for the Jets just because, like you said, they have a young quarterback who needs that run game. And you saw it this year, or this past week against Minnesota. When the Jets can't run the ball, Sam Darnold is. He's not the same player. He needs that running game.
It's a lot of quarterbacks.
You can mix in the play action and makes them more comfortable. So... I'm not the biggest fan of investing a ton of money into running back. There are exceptions, and I think Le'Veon Bell's an exception because of how much of a threat he is as a receiver, too. I mean, the guy's basically a wide receiver when he's not playing running back. They split him out wide. They split him out in the slot.
I would say this. I get where y'all coming from, and I believe that Le'Veon Bell, when playing, can be the number 1 option. I mean, the number 1 running back in the league. But, you know... That's an injury-prone position, and the more I look at it, the more you see these running backs go down, like how we was just talking about Sonny Michel. You know, do you really want to dish out the money to a running back like that, even with the cap that the Jets have? I just don't know if I would make that move. You know, the Steelers, obviously, they're not going to give him that big contract because they know at the end of the day that span of him playing in that type of position is going to be, you know, it's going to be a journey.
And running backs don't...
And they got James Conner. Exactly.
I was just going to say, that's the other side of it, is that... I mean, I'm saying I'd like to see the Jets put all this money into Le'Veon Bell, but you look at the Steelers, who they plug in James Conner, he's, what was he, a 4th-round pick? I mean, they just picked him up in the draft, and he's, you know, the same type of production. I mean, he's not Le'Veon Bell, but you put him in that offense, and he can run the ball, he's a good pass catcher.
Yeah, and a lot has to be on his shoulders for game after game for him to go out there and play, and he's been facing adversity his whole life. I'm not going to get into his life story, but he has a crazy one. If you don't know about it, definitely look him up. But for the fact that after games reporters, everything is about Le'Veon Bell, and everything's about, oh, this is your last game because Lev Bell's going to be back, and this and that, and the shadow just piling over him, and he just keeps a great composure about it.
Yep.
And he understands he has a good relation with Le'Veon Bell. Who knows how it is behind closed doors? To the public, he makes it seem like it's all cool. They talk after games and whatnot. He keeps his head up and whatnot. But it's really hard. That's a lot of adversity to follow when you're a young player into the league and you're playing really well at a good level, but everybody's asking, you're not going to play no more when Lev Bell's back.
And there's the question of when he's going to come back, too, because I think they said he was supposed to come back this week, and now he's not reporting. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he just sits out the whole year and is like, I'm going to keep my legs fresh. I'm going to go into next year.
Maybe he go to Cuba. Maybe he takes a vacation, and then he goes out to Cuba, and then he smokes a Cuba. But should the Redskins, moving on here, should the Redskins, who currently have the division lead in the NFC East, be the favorite to win the division after beating the Cowboys 20-17, as the Cowboys kicker missed a game-time field goal to tie this game and bring it to overtime?
You've seen a lot of missed kicks.
A lot of them.
I mean, I'm not going to say the Redskins are the favorite.
You had one job.
In my opinion, I don't believe the Redskins are the favorite. I still got to go with the Eagles. I just believe they're the most talented team in this division. They're not playing like it right now, but you still can't underestimate them. They won the Super Bowl last year. I mean, it's a totally different team. We know that. It's so hard to win back-to-back. But when you look from top to bottom, I believe he's the best quarterback in this division. They got the most talent in this division. So I'm still going with the Eagles. But the fact that the Redskins 4-2, nice veteran quarterback in Alex Smith, they're not a bad team. They do have a top 10 defensive unit. I mean, there's a possibility. And it's wide open still. The only team kind of out of it, the Giants, obviously, has now a win yesterday would have made that different. But it's wide open for all three of these teams, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Redskins. The Giants could always get back in it. They probably have to win out for a chance. But, I mean, it's crazy. The Redskins 4-2. They're, like I said, they're a good defensive unit. The Cowboys learned that Sunday. But I still think the Eagles are the favorite.
Yeah, I would say the Eagles are the favorite too, just because, you got Carson Wentz, like you said, and that team is so loaded, and you have to assume that at some point they get their act together, but it doesn't look like it so far. But how about Adrian Peterson for the Redskins? I mean, I never expected him to have a year like this where he's not as good as he was with the Vikings, but I mean, he's putting up great numbers. I think he had 99 rushing yards yesterday.
People underestimated him.
They underestimated Adrian Peterson when he got injured that time too, when he broke his leg. And you saw how normally when you break your leg like that in the manner where he did, it takes running back a couple years to get over that. But that next year he came and almost broke the record in the NFL history. That same year, that after he broke it. So AP has shown us that he could fight through adversity, and when people wouldn't expect him to have a big monster year, he will have it. And he's just showing you that he still has some say in being a good running back in the NFL. He's driving the ball. He's doing what he has to do. And at the end of the day, man, Adrian Peterson is going to go down as one of the best running backs of all time.
And last year he was running well too with Arizona. I mean,
remember the Saints? I thought he was done after that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a failed experiment though. It's just because the fact of the emergence of Kamara.
Yeah, you don't need
to do it too. Once you see that,
plus Ingram. I mean, now that the Saints have Ingram back, I mean, that's like the perfect kind of running back duo you have.
Exactly. It has to be one of the best in the league, in my opinion. But Adrian Peterson, even when he was with Arizona, he was still running the ball well. I mean, he got hurt at the end of the season. Hey, man, good for him.
And I like that duo, too. You got Adrian Peterson as, pounded down the middle. But they got Chris Thompson, too, who he can catch the ball. I mean, he's a big
broken leg last year as well.
And he's a big part of that offense. And I don't think the receivers are great. They have Jameson Crowder, Paul Richardson. But I love the tight end Jordan Reed, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They put him all over the field. That dude, yeah, when he stays healthy, the dude's an athletic freak, but
he's a concussion.
He's got to stay off the bench.
He's a concussion away from his brains being apple.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, y'all, call up the request line 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. You know you want to call that request line, so guess what? Go ahead and call that request line right now and keep it real with us. We are back, we are full energetic, and we are ready to go to the season finale. And it's approximately 8:36. And when we come back from commercial, guess what? We're going to keep it real. Automatic.
We got those World Series updates for you.
Yeah, most definitely.
Game 1, Dodgers Red Sox. We got you with the updates when we come back.
I must turn back on the mic.
2.5.
Who gets the half?
You?
How are you feeling out there?
Hot and spicy.
Jonas. Coach asked you to repeat that inbound play.
I can always repeat my favorite order on the app. So easy.
Jonas.
Did you call that last bang shot? No bang. I just banged the app.
Did you receive that travel call?
Yes, my pizza bill passport is full. Free pizza for me.
Anything else?
Well, it was a rainy day. Your team, a new beginning, no man on the care. Why is it so dark in here?
James, we'll never have that again. I'm sorry, we'll never have that. That's gone.
Mom and Dad, I'm healing up fast. I miss you so hard. Love, Kristaps.
Kristaps Porzingis wouldn't use a carrier pigeon to update his parents in Latvia, so why would he choose an outdated sports drink?
I wouldn't.
He wouldn't. This is Body Armor. More natural, more electrolyte, better sports drink.
Come on, Demar. You can make this. You made 1 million of these, but none were bigger than this. Hey, Google, set the cake timer for 45 minutes.
Setting cake timer for 45 minutes.
Coach is gonna love this. You only get one shot to take these out the box. You know how they come out crispy, flawless, smooth like a baby. On the court, they take care of me. But off the court, I take care of them.
This is Bill. Bill's in sales by day, but Ring lets him fight crime at night.
Tell us, Bill, how'd you do it? Well, I was at home one evening watching my favorite program, and I got a Ring notification, and I see this guy in my backyard, but I don't really know what to do, so I just go, he ran like a chicken. I may know karate, but Bill knows crazy. I do know a little karate.
Ring Spotlight Cam. It's your home and your neighborhood savings.
Turning clock at 3. Activate your soft speed.
After pregame, I'll have my wine tasting down the hall from my new vineyard. It's very classy, Shaq. Chuck, you know they call me the Big Classy, right? They don't call him that. Popping this party up. Hey! Oh! So inconsiderate. Come on, Chuck. NBA TNT is on Hulu. What you doing? You don't mess my party up. There's gonna be some furniture moving. This scene is rated D for drama. Anybody want double team some more? Wide open. Bucket.
Wow, I like that one.
Hang out. That's what I'm talking about.
That was nice.
Come on, man.
I gotcha. Who's bringing it? From downtown. Well, school is out.
Once you begin to appreciate the structure of the mind, there's no reason to believe that anything about us can't be changed. The mind can be solved.
Okay, people, let's begin.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we are back, and Leel when the Saints go marching in. When the Saints go marching in. It's time to talk about what happened on Sunday in Baltimore. Live in the WFCC radio booth, 60775. Mighty Outcast, y'all.
Can I just say, what a great intro song to start the segment? I mean, that's just fantastic.
Mighty Outcast, y'all. What y'all know about Outcast?
Let us know how you feel, how you keep it real on this.
Y'all can tell us about y'all day. Y'all can tell us how, anything y'all got going on, relationship issues. We could be the doctor. Alright? We got the PhD.
The Saints, they improved to 5-1, Lil.
Yup,
5-1,
5-1.
first place in the NFC South as they beat the Ravens, who fall to 4-3 after Justin Tucker missed the game-tying extra point at the end of the fourth. Hey, I believe the stat was he was 222, I think.
That was his first ever
He
missed
never
extra point.
missed one. They went all the way back to high school. The last time he missed a PhD.
You see his
And
eyes?
His
It was like a meme after that.
I
You couldn't
know.
believe it.
Bro, I couldn't believe it. I was scared if that went into overtime. I mean, you're in Baltimore. That's one of the hardest places to play. A little cold game. Baltimore is top defense. One of the top defenses in the league. They were letting up under like 100 yards a game. So like opposing running back.
And they stopped the run completely in that game. I think Kamara had he had the one
Yeah, they
touchdown,
didn't run
but
at all.
they couldn't get into a groove around the ball.
I think this game, however, does say, yes, we all know the Saints is good. Both of y'all on the season in the season premiere picked the Saints to win the Super Bowl. So we all know the Saints is really good.
I like that.
We all know that. But I think what this game shows us is that the Ravens are actually a really good team. Even though they lost this game, they're a pretty good team, and a lot of people's not talking about them. As I don't blame them, but if you've been watching football for the last couple of weeks, you should be talking about them because they could be the favorite to win that AFC. Not the whole AFC, but in their division. So, you know, they beat the Steelers, so they're in good position being 4-3. And, you know, the Ravens are a pretty good team. Joe Flacco's playing out of his mind, obviously, with Lamar Jackson being there. He knows that his time is ticking, so he is not playing with his time. He's making plays, and they got a lot of good receivers and Michael Crabtree, guys that can give you production. John Brown. Shh, don't make a sound. It's John Brown.
I really wish I had him in fantasy.
Yup.
Yeah, he went off on Sunday. 7 receptions, 134 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, you can still have him in fantasy, Mike.
Bro.
You can still have him in fantasy, because guess what? It's a fantasy.
Get
out of your mind, yeah.
Bro, my friend, my boy got him in fantasy every week, man. He's going on. I wish I had him.
I like the Ravens this year, man. I mean,
Definitely, me too.
They play at Carolina this week. I think the Panthers were like 1-point favorites to start off the game, and now Baltimore is they're saying Baltimore's going to win. I mean,
yeah, have them help us out.
That defense is so good. They stop the run better than almost anyone in the league.
I'm going to make a prediction for that game. Justin Tucker's going to win it.
Wait, think so?
A 63-yard field goal.
Yeah, I could see him going off for like 4.
That's a hot take, y'all.
50 yards.
Mike's spitting hot takes up here.
A 60-plus field goal.
It's already hot in here.
He
He's
might
spitting
not.
hot takes.
He might not miss a kick for like the rest of the season after that. 'Cause he's like a devastator.
You
Hot
see Pat
take.
McAfee go out there and do those kicks
For
for
the brand.
Yeah, that was
63 yards, Mike?
For real, it had me.
63 yards? Why not 80 yards?
What's the record? 64? I think the record's 64 yards, ain't it?
It's something like that.
The NFL record.
I think the Panthers, the field goal that he kicked, I think that was the longest kick to ever win a game, but I'm not sure what
to win a game.
It might be like 64. I think it's Matt Prater.
The Saints had a kicker back in the day. Tom Dempsey had like half a foot, bro.
I'm gonna look it up.
Boot on his foot.
Justin Tucker for 80 yards, y'all.
But I think it's 64, man. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Justin Tucker for 80 yards.
Nah, come on, bro.
For 80 yards.
80 yards, man.
80 yards down the field. It's good! It's good! 80 yards.
Nah, I'm gonna say it's 61, 62, whatever. He's gonna hit a long field goal to win the game, in my opinion. I don't know the exact yardage.
The longest field goal kick in NFL history is 64 yards by Matt Prater in 2013.
Yeah. Mike is right.
Yeah, Mike's right again.
He's on the Broncos then? I think so.
Mayday, mayday.
Matt Prater.
Matt Prater.
Yeah.
Ah, that's not
He's
fair.
on the Lions now.
In Denver?
Yeah, you get higher altitude.
Come on,
Yeah,
you get
that's
some
easier.
elevation on that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all good. But the Saints are in first place, and I can't
see
wait
why.
Sunday Night Football in Minnesota.
I see why that
It's a
stadium.
revenge game, man.
I see why that stadium is called Mile High and it's elevated.
Yeah.
Weed's legal
Sunday
there.
Night
Weed is
Football.
legal there. They getting high over there. Anyway.
Oh, I need to go to Denver.
Oh,
We do a live Mike and Leel in Colorado.
Mike and Leel in Colorado.
I won't make it. No way, bro. I'll be done.
He probably get kicked off here.
We can't put that one. We couldn't put that on TV. I don't think, but-
Nah,
Well, guess what, man?
What about that about?
Yup. But anyway, the Saints, man, the Saints are 5-1. They're playing good. Drew Brees is playing out of his mind. Drew Brees is playing like he could play another 10 more seasons.
Knock on wood,
All
he
right.
hasn't thrown a pick yet.
This guy's
He's had
elite.
43 other quarterbacks throwing interceptions so far this season. Drew Brees is not one of them.
He's elite, and he got a complimentary running game, and, you know, the defense is starting to improve, you know, how they started the season from how they started the season. The Saints, if the Saints get home court, and I say it right now, if the Saints get home court throughout the playoffs, watch out. Literally, watch out.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those teams when they're at home and that stadium is rocking. It's almost like these guys, the other offenses, they can't even call plays because you can't hear yourself talk. I mean,
That Superdome gets loud, man. Yeah, I know. They just had
and obviously, the strength of the
home field advantage throughout.
yeah. I mean, it's over. I think at that point, but I mean, obviously, everyone loves the Saints offense. Drew Brees, Sean Payton, like
Nothing to hate about it.
But yeah, I mean, like I love the defense. Davenport, the first round pick, he's really coming on.
Nice.
I mean,
Very good. Very disruptive.
I'd love to see that defense if Pat Robinson was healthy. It's something
Me
they lost
too.
him for the year.
You know what I was thinking? So yesterday, before the Eli Apple trade went through, that happened today. The Saints got Apple from the Giants for a 4th in this upcoming draft, and
That's
then
nothing.
7th in the 2020 draft. It's nothing, honestly. So there was talks about Patrick Peterson. So last night I was getting really excited. I'm looking like, what can they give up? I'm looking at what they had. I'm like, you know what? Might as well just go balls to the wall and get rid of whatever you do just to bring him in. Just because
Clear out. You're saying clear out like the
Exactly.
entire draft class just to get good players.
Exactly. What are you gonna do with this?
I mean,
you don't have a first.
We saw the
fifth
Eagles. We saw the
Davenport.
Eagles do that last year. They just added guys in the middle of the season.
Man,
They're
winning
just
it
going
all
for
is worth so
Yeah.
much. I'm
Put all your
saying
chips
you
in
have
the middle of the
such a-
table.
You have such a small window of breeze now. You don't know how much longer this guy's gonna play.
Nope.
Obviously, you know, I think in my opinion he could play another 5 seasons, but we don't know if he's gonna do that. You have such a small window. If you just went balls to the wall now, whatever the future, we'll worry about it when it comes. We win now. If you give a city, a fan base, a second championship in 10 years, I think they're content.
And I think that 2nd
I'm
championship.
content. I'm a Saints fan. I'd be content.
I think that 2nd championship, you really have to put him in the Peyton Manning conversation for like. I mean,
think
I'll
he's
say
He's better than
now.
Peyton Manning.
I mean,
I think
you could
he's
say
better
that.
now.
A lot of
Yeah.
people say Manning number 1, Peyton 2, or Montana, but like, I mean, you could. I don't think
people, you're wrong. You're wrong.
he needs
Drew
a
Brees
championship.
this year past Peyton Manning in my
Hey
opinion.
man, I mean that's not even a hot take at this point, but I don't know. You have to say Tom Brady's the GOAT. I know we're getting into this conversation, we always do. But
Yep.
You have to say Tom Brady's the GOAT right now because of the championships. But I mean, hey, if the Saints go on a little run here next couple of years, let's say they win this year, let's say they win one more in the future. If Drew Brees finishes with 3 championships, you gotta say it's 1A, 1B with him and Tom
I'll
Brady.
take it.
Because of
I'll
how
take
good he has been over the course of the years, like statistics, like you saw the yards with him in first place now.
It's,
And I mean,
he
if
beats
wins
so
the
many other
second one,
quarterbacks
If he's
with that,
2-0
yeah.
in Super Bowls, Manning is 2-2. I mean, that speaks.
That speaks a lot, and he beat Manning.
Yep.
He beat Manning.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, Drew Brees, to me, you can put Drew Brees over Manning, and you should put him over Manning because let's be real here. Peyton Manning's playoff record is not all that. I mean, yes, he won them 2 Super Bowls. The second Super Bowl that he won, obviously, couldn't throw the ball down the field. It was that defense with Von Miller. So, the Killer Miller, that's what I call him. So, with that being said, Drew Brees, he's accurate. This guy's the most accurate quarterback I ever seen. I mean, yes, you could say Aaron Rodgers is the more talented quarterback as far as the God's gifting arm, but as far as accuracy-wise, Drew Brees, I don't see a quarterback doing what he's done.
And
all.
at his
What
size
he's
too.
doing.
I mean, he's not the prototypical NFL
And his size.
big body.
Exactly.
Drew Brees or Peyton Manning, I'm sorry, is like what 6'4". Tom
Yeah.
Brady's like 6'5".
Think about what he's overcoming. He always overcame scenarios,
overcoming
overcoming the
Katrina.
injuries.
The Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, which was
Exactly.
devastating, obviously.
Drew Brees is really, really up there, top 5 of all time.
Yeah,
by
I think
far.
I think you have to put him in the top 3.
You
or
could,
4.
top
Have
3.
to.
He's up there. This guy's the real deal, and then, like I said, he needs another ring though. He needs another ring, and I think that he has a good shot of getting
We're
it.
gonna get it.
And that's
And
it
that's
goes.
what I was saying. Put everything in the middle of the table, put all the chips there, like you were saying, and bring in Patrick Peterson. But you know what? They didn't have. Who knows if Arizona was gonna go that route and get rid of him? And the Saints really didn't have what they probably would have asked for.
Yeah, they don't have the one this
So,
year, which is tough.
exactly.
round
They don't
pick.
have the first rounder they could have gave up. But you know what? I'm happy with this addition of Eli Apple because he is a young corner who's shown flashes of playing good. In college, he was really good. But now you put him with his old teammates at Ohio State. It's
I
like
didn't
the
even-
Ohio State Saints.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, and that's a really good point. I mean, not only was he on a bad team with the Giants, I mean, you don't really have any, Landon Collins is good, but you don't really have any star players. You put him next to Marshawn Lattimore with that front they have that's generating, the pass rush. I mean, it's a whole new scenario. You never know.
Yep.
He could be, twice the player that he was with
He
the
played with
Giants.
Lattimore, he played with Von Bell, he played with Mike Thomas. They got other Ohio State guys, Kurt Coleman,
And he's going to be motivated, too, getting traded like that. He's going to want to,
Definitely.
put in the
He's
extra
better than
effort.
Ken Crowley. It's a big upgrade for the team. And what I was thinking about with Patrick Peterson is the fact that they got Patrick Robinson under contract, who got hurt week 3 against Atlanta. Out for the season, they say he could be back week 15 because the IR, but
I mean, if he comes back in the playoffs, that's a huge addition.
Exactly.
Like,
And I was
that's,
thinking next year.
you're taking a good defense and you're saying, okay, here's another piece, that takes away the slot receiver.
But like Patrick Peterson was signed through 2020, and if they would have brought him in, that defense next year, Lattimore, Patrick Robinson, Patrick Peterson, I don't know how you're getting open on that secondary.
I mean, any of these teams, Saints, Patriots.
Eli Apple, I like the addition.
Yeah.
It was a low risk move. They didn't really give up much.
They traded the wrong Eli.
Yeah,
They traded the wrong Eli. But anyway, the Panthers staying in that division, 4-2 now. They win against the Eagles, 21-17. But what stole the headlines, and before we actually get into the headlines, that really stole the headlines. Let's talk about this game before we get into the political side of things, because obviously Eric Reid and Malcolm Jenkins was joined before the game, and then after the game, and Eric Reid basically said that he sold us out, and there was a lot of reactions on Twitter and social media, as you know what this world is about now. So before we get into that, let's dive into the reactions for the game before we head to halftime. Real quick, I think the Panthers are a really good team. They're capable of, competing with anybody. They lost, they probably should have beat the Redskins. They probably should have only lost one game. But the Panthers, to me, Cam Newton, he's doing his thing, and that was a good win. The Eagles, man, the Eagles is having a little Super Bowl slump. That's something to be said. You see teams that win Super Bowls or get to the Super Bowl, and the next year they falling off. And right now the Eagles is in a bad state. I do think they end up winning the NFC East, but it's going to be an ugly finish. And I don't know how far they can go after they win the NFC East when they get to the playoffs. But the Panthers, to me, is a good team. Christian McCaffrey obviously is the real deal, and if they could be able to win these tough games, then the Panthers, they might be two teams coming out that division in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we do know how good Carolina could be. We know how good Cam Newton could be. The only thing that always just boggles my mind is the fact that without Greg Olsen, he's like the biggest part of that offense.
Yep.
I mean, when he's hurt, they're missing so much, and I thought this guy was going to miss a lot of weeks this season. I was kind of happy as a Saints fan. All I'm saying, he's right back, and it's like this guy's always playing through injuries, and he's so good,
yeah,
and he's so pivotal for their offense. It's like,
one of the
how
best
come
tight ends
this
in
team
the
has never
league.
brought in any type of receiver to help Cam? How come Des Bryant hasn't gotten a call?
Yeah, Funches is okay. I mean, he can.
Or even Rashard Matthews to the Jets side today.
Yeah, I know. I like that pickup. I like that pickup a lot. But you know what I really like on the Panthers? Christian McCaffrey has been
Yes.
He's been so good. And last season, he's a first-round pick, I think 9th overall. I mean, you expected a lot, and he was a good receiver, but you just didn't really get that much out of the run game. He's running the ball with power now, and he's got speed. You see him burst around the edge.
Very good.
And he's obviously a great pass catcher. I mean, he's really emerged in this, his second year.
And I'll come out with a biased comment, but I haven't said it.
Oh yeah, he's a better player.
Yeah. But let's get right into what happened with the headlines regarding Eric Reid. So
I didn't see what happened with Eric Reid. The only thing I saw was that he lost his case against the Bengals for them not signing him. That's not what you're talking about?
Nah, it was basically before the game they were joined on the football field, and they showed it, and after the game they were joined again. And when they interviewed Eric Reid, the problem was he felt that Malcolm Jenkins had sold them out in the protest. I don't know, he has his reason for believing why he did, and because he's about to protest in the NFL. He's trying to.
Malcolm Jenkins, yes.
Yeah, so he felt that he sold them out.
So I got a tweet that kind of explains it. Reid had major concerns with Malcolm Jenkins' players coalition that raised nearly $100 million to cause considered more important to African American communities. So it's like he's basically saying Malcolm Jenkins sold out, and
Yeah, so Malcolm Jenkins is a big figure for standing up for everything. He's always been out there in the place. He's always came out and said comments to the media about everything with the NFL. But yeah, with the raising the money, he works with a few other players. I believe, I want to say Martellus Bennett.
Yep.
There's a few of them. There's a few of them. They do this thing now where they raise money to help for those problems in areas where racism is present. So they raise money to. I guess I don't know exactly what they do.
Yeah, it's a confusing situation because Eric Reid is like.
But I know that they made a ruling in the offseason in the NFL.
Here, you want me to play? I got the audio. Let me play this right now. This is what Eric Reid said after the game, post-game interview here.
Now, how was he a sellout And
Well,
Eric Reed's not. If
I
Eric
would-
Reed's back in the NFL.
I will say this. You know, Eric Reed has to have his reasons of why he think Malcolm Jenkins is a sellout. I don't know the reasons why he think Malcolm Jenkins is a sellout, but you know, Eric Reed is strong in the protest. So
Eric Reed is a sellout. If he had so many problems with the NFL, he wasn't signed by a team. He didn't have to sign back.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
he did.
And Malcolm
You
Jenkins
could
has
say
always
that.
been known as a guy who's like very good in his community
always
and raised
been
a lot of
saying
money.
stuff,
So yeah,
but
I'm
he's
like,
also been bringing up a lot about this topic and about these problems, and he works in the NFL to help both sides to come up with it. That's what they raise money for.
I think he was saying he like, I don't know, like he
I don't know.
worked with the owners or, you know, like basically took the owner side of things, because Eric Reed is definitely anti-owner. I think
Malcolm Jenkins is too.
yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's a confusing situation, but
it's a confusing
he's been playing well. I mean,
situation.
he's a good pickup by the Panthers.
But there's
on
also
the field.
reports that an Eagles writer tweeted a Jim Crow cartoon about Eric Reed, and
That has nothing to do with Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah.
People do that all day.
You know,
I'm
people
sure
do that
you
all
can find
day.
a
He's like
ton
a
of it
beat
on
writer.
But-
Tweet that out.
but at the end of the day, man, I don't have tolerance for this BS
Definitely.
with regards to that. You know what I'm saying? Whoever that Eagles writer is, he should be fired and he should be kicked out the country, in my opinion. I mean, send his behind somewhere else, please. I hate tolerance like this, because at the end of the day, you know, Eric Reed is doing something that he doesn't have to do. He is taking on social issues. He's in the NFL. Yes, Mike, I know he's back in the NFL. You could call him a sellout for that, but he don't have to speak on this. He could just be like, I'm in the NFL. I'm back on the roster. Let me keep my mouth shut. He has his reasons for thinking Malcolm Jenkins is a sellout, and maybe they're valid reasons. I don't know. But I hate when people like this Eagles writer take it upon himself to tweet a racist Jim Crow. First of all, your behind look like that cartoon, so don't even try it, brother. You look like it. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, and it bothers me when anyone has a problem with Eric Reed or any of these guys, you know, getting political and speaking their minds and commenting on issues, because these are rich, famous athletes. They work, you know, they work so hard their entire lives to get to this level, and you have a platform where you say something and it actually matters. You know, it resonates with the community. So these guys have every right in the world to speak out on an issue or speak out on, you know, kneeling for the anthem and Colin Kaepernick. Like, these guys have a right to be pissed off because, I mean, it affects them all. It really, when something like Kaepernick happens, it affects all the players, because it's saying, if you're out of line, you know, if you do something that's off the field that the owners don't like, you're done. And, you know, a lot of these players have a right to be like, hey, you know, we're like, you know, kind of anything we say or do, we could get thrown out of the league. You know, it's just, I never have a problem with the players speaking up.
Restricting their speech.
Yeah, they're restricting their speech, and at the end of the day, I've been saying that the players are their product, and you're supposed to protect your product at the end of the day, because they're making you the money. All right, you subtract these players from the NFL, where would the NFL be? It will be the non-existent fail. All right, it will not exist.
That's who they work for. They work under the shield, and honestly, it's a job at the end of the day. And if a job makes a rule, you may not agree with it, but you're gonna have to follow it.
Yeah,
that's just
that's
how it
true.
is. I mean, it's just the hard truth.
That
and
is
sometimes
true.
people just gotta face the hard truth, and a lot of people have trouble doing that.
Yeah,
But I
that is
mean,
true.
it's a job. That's the rules that they put forward. That's what they want to do. I'm sure our employers, whoever we work for, there's rules for us. There's rules for us on this campus.
There's rules for us here on this booth.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? But
We
hey,
have to follow
Yeah,
them.
it's not-
May
it's not all
them, may
like-
not agree with them.
It's not all First Amendment, like, oh, I
Exactly,
can say
yeah.
whatever I want. There is a
No,
time and a place,
Yeah.
but maybe off the field, you know, in their own time, I'll always say that the player should have a right to, you know, speak out on an issue. Maybe
but
not,
I think
maybe not necessarily
I think they should be
in, you know,
able to do it in the NFL if they want so, please. Because at the end of the day, if it's a star, he's not. See, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to hold the same players accountable. For example, Colin Kaepernick wasn't a star. Had it been Tom Brady or some other cat, he would not got thrown out the league. So if you're talking about rules, make sure the rules apply to everybody and not because of their play. Make sure the same guy you give a punishment is the same guy you going to get punishment. Make sure the same guy you going to allow to do something, you're going to allow him to do something. Let's make this country equal, all right? It shouldn't be who you are and your stature, but it should be what you're doing. And they should allow, if they're going to allow certain people to do it, then they should allow everybody to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's funny to see the difference between the NFL and the NBA, where, like, the NBA, it's so player-friendly, it's so pro-player, LeBron James, he comments on any, sort of issue he wants. He doesn't really do it on the court. He'll do a tweet or something like that, or comment on Instagram. And the NBA has no problem with it, which is how I think the NFL should treat it. Let these guys say what they want to say. If they have, if they're upset about something, especially like Kaepernick, let them, get their opinions out. Because I just think, like Roger Goodell coming out and saying, oh, you can't kneel, you can't do this, and all these owners saying, we can't have the inmates running the prison or whatever the quote was. It just looks bad, the optics are bad, and it looks like you're trying to suppress the players, whereas if you just were more accepting and say, hey, if you guys want to protest, you have every right to. I think it's only adding more, fuel to the fire, I guess. And I think we should just stop. I think the NFL owners should just get over it or do something and just, let's just focus on the games, because there's so many good football games actually being played. Like, I don't really want to even talk about, like the stuff on the side and like people kneeling and stuff. Like, I don't know. It just feels like a stale subject at this point. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, call up the request line, y'all. 607-753-4819. Once again, 607-753-4819. We're gonna go on a halftime break.